Okay, so in this video, we are going to just briefly explain a spring trade, how to find it, where to find it, on what time frames, and all that good stuff. And so the very first thing we're going to talk about is what is a spring trade. And so I'm going to kind of draw some, I'm just kind of drawing the chart here. Actually, let me move over here. And so a spring trade is essentially, it's a very simple pattern, right? It is a triangle pattern. And so a lot of you guys probably have seen these patterns before. And so, and again, what happens here, or what happens here, if it breaks below, typically we do see a strong move down. If it breaks above, typically we see a strong move up. Is this a guaranteed pattern? No, but we are all about probability. So if you were to trade something and there was a 50% chance of something happening, right? And then, but the very next candle, it would boost up to 70% potentially, or even somewhere like 60%. So that extra 10%, wouldn't you want to? Wouldn't you be more likely to trade on the 60 or 70%? If you answer yes, well, obviously the answer is yes. And so you are going to, so the higher the probability pattern, the more likely it is going to go your way. And so that's what's happening on some of these signals. And so say, yeah, you were to get, like I said, for example, right here, if this is the candle, say we're on this candle right here, right? There's a 50% chance this thing is going to break this level and go down here, or it's going to come up here and break it. But when this candle broke out, this actually increased to, let's just say, 70%. And again, percentages are, everybody makes percentages up. It don't matter. You can look at somebody who back tested a strategy, this to that, and 9 times out of 10 they're just all made up, right? Um, but and so again, I'm making these percentages up, but the probability is increased, and so we could even just say that. So the probability increase that this is going to go to the direction that you want to go, which is obviously the upside. And so if you were to get down here, yeah, this would have been a better price, but the probability was actually lower in that case. And so we want to take the highest probability trades possible. So that's what the spring trade is all about. And so the reason why we call it, and you can think of it in terms of a spring, right? So here's a nice little, here's the spring right here. This is where the first spring happens, right? But now here's the second one. It's getting coiled up. It's a little bit tighter, right? The coil is a little bit tighter. Now this one right here, the coil is even tighter. And so once it breaks out of that, when the candles happen right here, it released. Think about it in terms of that. So we released it. Think about our little, and I'm not a good drawer here, but think about a finger, right? Here's a finger on it. So the finger is pushing, maybe a little thumb right there. So it's pushing down. And so this candle, we released it, right? This candle was released, and then now it's up to the charts to decide where it wants to go. And in this case, we ended up the coil came. This is the bottom coil, and so now we are heading upwards, right? It's flying upwards. And so that is what constitutes a spring trade. And so again, these are on the best time frames. So what are the best time frames to find these? 4-hour time frame, which is the H4, and the daily time frame. These are the best to find these. You can very much find them on the lower time frames, like 15-minute, the 5-minute, the minute charts. I don't know about second charts or not, but the strongest are right here. If you can see this down there, the 4-hour, the daily, the weekly, the monthly, the yearly. The higher you go, the stronger these moves could be. And so that is where I would recommend the time frames. That's how the pattern works. And so the pattern, again, it is a simple triangle pattern. You can find these things all over your charts. And so I'm going to show you how to find this exactly. So this one in particular, they're all going to look differently, but this one was a strong move up. So here was a nice strong move up, and then this started to go sideways. We got a sideways move before it eventually broke back out. And honestly, this could have been a spring trade right there. That was actually a really nice trade there. But then here we go. Now back sideways. You know, we're going up, we're going sideways. And then once you identify that, you can draw a line on these position points right here. Draw a line on the wick, the bottom wicks, right here, right there, right here, and then again right here. And again, these wicks they won't be perfect. You see this right here? That's not perfectly on the line, but you just kind of just do the high highs, low lows, and you'll get an idea. You get a general idea. That once you see a breakout of this pattern, once you see the coil has broken, the key for this is to wait for the next candle to confirm this breakout. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So this is the 4-hour chart, and again, we could do dailies, but let's just go down the 4-hour chart. So here is our breakout candle right here. So this is where we got interested, right? And you can actually put an alert right here on your chart. Once you see that, it's like, okay, so we're going to be ready. Now you just need to wait for a confirmation. And so the way to wait for a confirmation is it has to break the top of this candle, so the very top of the wick. And we did that right here this morning. And actually, I did a quick trade here. As soon as it broke that out, got in right here, and then I eventually just got out like somewhere. I think it was somewhere there. It was a quick options trade. And so you can do these with options. You can do that with stocks. You can buy this stock. This is a $77 right now. You could do this, pretty much with anything, Forex. But this example, we're going to use Walmart. And you can do options. And I'll have later videos to kind of explain what options are the best and things like that. But this video, I really just wanted to highlight what a spring trade looks like and how you can find it and when to enter. And so this would have been your entry right here. This is the entry candle. This is where you would enter once it breaks this. And again, this could happen. This was actually, let's go on the daily. This actually broke out this morning. And so it actually broke that level this morning. And then now we're moving up. And so where now would you do a take profit and a stop loss? So I would recommend a stop loss somewhere below the bottom of the spring trade, the bottom of the triangle here. And so somewhere in this area, and you can always do, and a lot of this is Webull. A lot of these times, a lot of these tools will say risk to reward. So you could do anywhere from 2 to 3. That is a very good risk to reward. You can go higher. A lot of the times though, this is all-time highs, so there isn't anything to go off of, right? Walmart is just continuing to make all-time highs. But I'll show you an example of one. Let's look at this example. So this was a spring trade that I previously took. And so here we go. This was a breakout. So we did hit that breakout candle. And then actually this was here. I think it was there. That's where the entry was. And so what we ended up doing here was this was a 3 risk reward ratio, 3 to 1, 3 reward, 1 risk. And but basically where I found the take profit target is you see this right here. This was a key level. We saw this level right here test. It tested it. Well, this actually came back and then it went back to the upside, tested it, and so we saw it there that was a highly probability that it was going to hit this and possibly retest, which it did, and then went all the way back down. So this was actually a really good trade if you would have got out right there. So that is how, for a trade like this where it did come down and it did coil up, that is a great place to target where you would do a take profit. And so here's another one. This is another all-time high trade. And so here's another. This is KO. This is Coca-Cola. The previous one was CCL. It was Carnival Corp. But this one is KO, so this is another great trade. This was one that we signal, and so there's the breakout, and this would have been your entry. Let me actually just draw it right there. Um, so here's our breakout candle, and then once that broke the tie here, this is where the entry would have been. And again, you can do 2 to 1. This was 1.7. I think I just had this level just because it was a psychological level. I think it was 70, 71. But hey, man, it just kept going. It really did keep going. And so yeah, so that is how you will find spring trades. Again, 4-hour daily. You can find these on stocks. You can find these on crypto. You can find these on Forex. I'm going to have a ton of examples later on. I'll even do some live trades. I do have a Telegram if you want to check that out in the description below. You can actually find, I'll actually have uh, live trades going on there. All right, so hopefully this was a informational video, and I'll have future videos that will kind of have live examples and a lot more good stuff. So if you like this content, if you're still here and you appreciate it, go ahead and drop a like and hit that subscription bell. I would appreciate it. And let's go ahead and take some more spring trades, and we are going to